Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey. This is the part of the show where I probably shouldn't have been recording.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 1862, 1862. I'm your friend, Mike Matthews. And how are you? I was in Hayward for their little bitty, what's it called? A street party. And it's also getting close to the summer solstice, and I think that you and I are
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Easy to sing song, come up with lyrics.
Mike's
It's so difficult.
Daily
I guess this was a fail.
Podcast.
But all in all, why should we judge our own selves? Let's just judge other people. Wait, there's a Bible here in front of us. And it says, judge lest you be judged, not judging. I can't read very well without my glasses. And that LASIK eye surgery did not end up working for my entire life. Not that they said it would. They said, sometime in your 50s, you'll probably need some. And there you have it. I have to use them now, but I don't have them. Hey, welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Yes, we are in Podcastro Valley today. Very good. The last place on earth, cafe anyway, and I have so much to cover. Let's see. First off, that big rant I did about Uber, the last show, and my lovely lady friend being driven all over the place by a driver who could not speak English. He couldn't even speak Spanish. And so, because that's usually the default language in California if you can't speak English. Actually, that's not really true in the Bay Area because they could speak Russian, Armenian, Greek. I'm just wandering through the lands. German. They could be speaking that other language.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Yes. Cantonese, Mandarin, there you go. That's about all I can think of languages in the world. The one they speak in India, and if you know what it is, please give me a call, 336-MM Daily. I would look it up right now, but I'd crash my computer. And I need the computer to look at the podcast picture today, which is of this new shopping center in Bishop Branch. Bishop Branch in the area near Danville, San Ramon, that general area. East part of the Bay Area, Basil. He was actually with us, not in the picture today. That's Basil. Oh, now he's sleeping. Okay. Yes, because it was a big day today. What with the street festival, the first of, I think, 3 in Hayward, downtown Hayward. Oh my gosh, you couldn't even move. I got there probably around 6:30. Late, all the way to 7. And there was this awesome Latin rock band a la Santana. Oh, I met the guy, Tony, what's his name? Who was the singer in Santana's band when he was touring for a number of years. Nice guy. He sang, because they couldn't get Rob Thomas to come out to the concerts every night. So they got this guy to sing Just Like an Ocean Under the Moon and all that. Hey, I actually said to him, I saw you perform in Santa Barbara in 2007. It was a fantastic show. Thank you very much. And he said, yeah, that was me. Santa Barbara Bowl. Now, I didn't get a chance to ask him what the hell was that enormous thing that Mr. Carlos Santana was smoking. I saw barely trying to hide it. He went to the back of the stage to do it while his band was jamming. But that probably was rhetorical, that question. So, this is an exciting podcast so far, isn't it? Now, I told you my lovely lady friend got driven all over the place by the person that couldn't speak English, couldn't speak Spanish. He was from Brazil, so he spoke Portuguese. And so my lovely lady friend actually had to ask the guy to pull over. She got on a BART to get back home. Uber apparently gave her back all the money. Well, they took the charge off of her account, so that would have cost like $66, and they said, yeah, don't worry about it. So that's one nice thing that happened. Thank you, Uber, for that. But as I smack my lips, that's a fun activity. I did want to tell you about an interesting thing that you may not know if you're not in the radio world. You might find it very fascinating to know that there is a phrase of 5 words. That's it, 5 words. I had to count them really quick. I can't even say those 5 words on my podcast because they could come after me and sue me. This guy, and I will not tell you what the phrase is, the 5 words. It's an incomplete sentence, as a friend of mine told me. And this guy has made over $400 million off of this phrase because he catches radio stations saying this 5-word phrase. And it pertains to wrestling. And you probably know already what it is. See, I don't even have to say. And can I get sued for even insinuating it? Well, that's a messed up world if it's true. But at any rate, radio stations think they can play it. And I have known for years, there was a guy I knew I worked with who was in the worldwide wrestling, whatever the hell they call it thing, WWF. He was an announcer, and he knew the guy. And he told me, he actively goes out and, Lee Marshall was the guy who told me about this. He used to be the late great Lee Marshall. Such a guy, always there to mentor people along. He was awesome. Sadly, he died too young. He told me that this guy actually goes out and he has these, what do you call them? Disgusting human beings that search out the radio stations around the globe. I don't know. They're not really trolls, are they? But they search out, and he pays them. They're like bounty hunters. And he pays them a bit of whoever they catch using the phrase. And then he has these super duper idiotic lawyers go out and sue the radio stations or whoever it is, movies, TV shows. And he always gets paid. He always wins because that's how messed up our legal system is. So I went to basically a webinar to explain this whole thing to us about how, hey, in radio, you need to be careful. Don't say that phrase. The phrase that pays him, this idiot guy, that I won't even say his name. Don't say this phrase because he's going to make money off you. And that's something to keep in mind. Trademarked expressions, you can get sued. And that's something to be aware of. But it is messed up at the same time. My lovely lady friend was saying to me, what kind of legal system do we have where people, you can't even say. But the truth is, it's really, there are people making money off of his phrase. And that's when he goes after them, when they're making money off of it, I think. Or he just goes after anybody and he's just a litigious idiot. So, to sum up, you should come up with your own crazy phrase, and then you'll get a army of lawyers. Is this similar to what Scientology did? I hate these organizations. And Trump, this is one thing I don't like about him specifically, is that he would go after people if they said anything. This is what I was told. I don't know. I haven't done any research to see if this is true, but he'd go after people back before. Well, the whole Stormy what's-her-face thing, and, he had his lawyers bury it in the tabloids. The tabloids bought the story of her and some other person, some other mistress, and then buried it. There's something there, and I don't like these legal practices like that. I think it's terrible. Because it abuses. It's as abusive as the person that sues over the hot coffee story, which that guy who does the show So-and-So Ruins Everything, he's got one of the top podcasts. He was discussing how that woman that sued, I think it was a woman who sued McDonald's because the coffee spilt on her lap, and she actually was physically injured. And McDonald's did, in fact, not until that point really pay attention to how they served hot coffee, something to that effect. It's Adam Ruins Everything. Thank you. Okay, I have so many things. That's why you listen to this show, right? Because I have so many things to share. And let's see, is this one? Oh, one of them, tarantulas. Yeah, tarantulas. That's a thing. They're all about, and they are an amazing animal. Check this out. So you're afraid of tarantulas, right? Good. A female tarantula hawk wasp cruises the grasslands seeking tarantulas. She needs food, not for herself, but for her offspring. If she spots a wandering victim or entices one from its burrow, a deadly dance commences. The tarantula defends itself with fangs while the wasp dies. Yes, so this tarantula gets attacked by this wasp. The wasp will dive underneath to give a paralyzing sting, one of the most painful in the insect world, though it is not lethal. She drags her victim into a hole, lays a single egg, and seals the still living spider into its grave. This is what happens to the poor tarantula, the thing that you're afraid of. Just think of that death. The larva hatches and begins to feed, avoiding vital organs. Oh, how nice. After a month, even these are consumed before the wasp completes its cycle. Oh my God. This was by way of the East Bay Regional Park District and their little brochure on tarantulas, because we get a lot of those in the East Bay. A spider's life. The female delays egg laying until the right time. She manufactures a silken masterpiece, her egg case. The soft, cushiony inner layer protects her fragile brood. The strong outer layer is lined with barbed hairs to protect against parasites. Hundreds of eggs nestle within. On sunny days, the mother warns her developing offspring by dragging the case to the burrow entrance. The rubbery eggs hatch into ditova, or eggs with legs. Okay, now I'm freaking myself out. Eggs with legs? What? They cannot walk or move until after their first molt. Then they leave the sheltered case, forming a fuzzy carpet of spiderlings. Eee. Okay, that's enough of that. I won't read anymore. But isn't it a nice little bedtime story? Read that to your kids. This wonderful brochure, you could probably write the East Bay Regional Park District, and they could probably mail this to you if you would like it. By the way, can we just quickly look at the tarantula anatomy? Let's listen to some of these things. I'm made up of, let's see, I'm looking at my arm right now. I got a knee. Wait a minute, that's my leg. Okay, whatever part of myself I'm looking at. A knee, ankle, foot. Okay, here's the tarantula anatomy. Pedipalp, tibial spur, chelicera, cephalothorax, and a spinnernet. Aren't those some interesting joint names? Here's a joint name, marijuana. Hey, that goes back to that other part of the story where I was telling you about the thing that we were discussing. The marijuana. There was some part of this interesting show earlier where we were discussing that. So what did we learn today? Absolutely nothing. No, we did learn something, and that is the wonderful... Oh, it is Men's Health Month. I think that's what we'll sum up with. It's Men's Health Month. And, so just as I, in that last story, gave credit to the fine people at the East Bay Regional Park District for writing this wonderful brochure and giving them credit, right? Maybe the dude that's suing people because of his 5-word phrase should just chill the heck out. And when people say the phrase, just give the guy credit. And then he could lay off. But no, he's got to pay these underlings, these minions, these bounty hunters, these scum that go after and listen. And I just imagined what these guys look like. They're probably all 800 pounds, white, have a really stinky breath. And, not to be judgmental, judge not lest you be judged. But, yeah, there's probably something, they should get as much money as they can. I guess I'm not going to completely put down what they do, because in the end, they're going to die at 40. There is no way you can live that lifestyle just sitting there listening to radio all day and then trying to... Hey, well, actually, maybe that is a little side gig you could do. Listen for someone to say that phrase that pays him and feed off of him the way the wasp... what the hell is it called? The female tarantula hawk wasp. If you're a female tarantula hawk wasp, maybe you should, you'll be fine in this world, I guess is what I'm saying, summing up. Unless you have, a conscience, and you don't want to live like that. Okay, as we are outside of here, Cafe Anyway, we're going to say hi to some people in just a moment, but it is National Men's Health Month here, the month of June. It's quite common for men to adopt a tough guy mentality and brush off nagging health issues, either hoping they'll get better on their own or resign themselves to their supposed fate and avoid seeking medical care. This is what some doctor says, and this is what I read from the What's Happening Tri-City Voice, and I found this article very interesting. Men need to listen to what their bodies are telling them. I tell men to think of themselves as a car. Go to the doctor if there's... I suggest that I advise you to drink heavily. No, they don't. And I just quoted a movie. Can I get sued for that? It was Animal House. I'm giving credit to the late great John Belushi. There you go. Animal House. We're all set. Let's continue on. He says, I tell men to think of themselves as a car. Go to the doctor if there's an acute issue. And use a balanced diet, exercise, and work-life balance for long-term maintenance. Isn't it all about work-life balance? Isn't that all in the end what it all is balancing things? And not going to extremes, as the late, great Billy Joel... No, he's still alive. As Billy Joel once said, I don't know why I go to extremes. Well... yeah, he sang about that song like, yeah, that's just how I am. But in the end, he crashed his damn car into a tree. Billy Joel, he should have washed himself before he wrecked himself. No, wait, he didn't check himself before he wrecked himself. Okay. Having a little bit of delicious water infused. But hey, here's a tip. Another tip that Mike Matthews gives you on his wonderful Mike's Daily Podcast, which, by the way, thank you for putting up with my 3-day weekend that I just took. I didn't do a podcast Monday through Wednesday, but there's one here today. You're welcome. I will try to be more regular with my podcasting. I know I say that every show, but hey, here's a tip. Okay, so you buy almond milk. Do you buy almond milk? First off, if you buy almond milk, go to, because I have to, I'm lactose intolerant. I suggest you go to Costco. You can buy like 3 huge cartons for $9, and that's a great deal. Now, here's the thing. When you're done with your carton, don't throw it out. Here's what you do. You take some water, put it in the carton, shake it up, as the late great Rick Ocasek once said. Shake it up. No, he's still alive too. It's his band member, the late great Benjamin Orr, no longer with us, who sang the song Bye, Bye Love, Bye, Bye Love, and Who's Gonna Drive You Home Tonight? Okay, back to my story. Here's the deal. What you want to do is take it, shake it up, and then pour yourself the water. Take the water out of the thing you just did. Put that water in the fridge for a little bit. And then drink it cold. And it's this nice, like, I don't know. Let me describe this thing. It's not like disgusting at all. It's refreshing in some way. It's like not boring like water. It's got this little, I know you're probably sickened, but it's not like where, because there's a little hint of the almond, but it's not quite as strong as almond milk. It's a nice balance. I can't even describe it. It's delicious. Okay. While the primary care physician can address many, and once again, I need glasses. Thank you. Many first-line health concerns, some conditions may require a specialist. As a urologist, I'm not going to go into urology. Anyway, you got to take care of yourselves, guys. You know what? You go through life and you may go, I'm tough and I don't need anything. And then all of a sudden you're dead. Or a female honey badger. What is it? A female tarantula hawk is going to lay eggs inside of you. Wasp. Okay. To sum up. There you go. Let's say hi to some people outside a cafe anyway. That we haven't acknowledged yet. Hello, Michael Max. It's Madame Rootabega. It's a female tarantula wasp hawk. Oh, just kidding. That's great, Madame Rootabega. Thank you. Look who else is here.
Hello, dear Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, today I met a little Yorkie terrier, also named Valentino, like myself,
Yeah, like him. Do you know that? Oh, guys, that's a great story. That's awesome. Yeah, Valentino. Yep, there's a lot to learn from today's podcast, and right about now I would cue the piano music, but I don't own any piano music that I could play the piano for you like I do at the beginning of every show, but that's not going to happen on today's show. I guess to sum up, basically, as I've been trying to do for the past 3 or 4, maybe 20 minutes, is don't let people scare you, and don't let, you know what, in the end, we need to fight back with these people that abuse power. I think that's pretty much it. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Thank you for listening. And hopefully we'll do another show possibly tomorrow. Definitely this weekend, I would say. That makes it a daily podcast, doesn't it? Take it away, Ariel.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, and happy summer solstice tomorrow, unless you're listening to summer solstice today during the summer solstice. Yeah.
Anyway.